Okay, so this is our presentation for Challenge 8. This is Group 5 and my name is Terry Chan. And this is the logic of our whole autonomous car controller. So what we first do is we first check if there's any manual control signal coming in. If there is, then it will enter the manual driving protocol, which each pin connects to the Pi's GPIO port, and it will send signals into the different pins, and if it is high, then execute that. So, and if there's no any manual signals, then it will check for beacon signals. If we don't have any beacon signals, then we'll activate PID controls. So, in this particular case, we have two different PID controllers. The first one is normal PID. That it will be reading the difference between the left reading and the right reading, put it into the whole system, and it goes through the controller, outputs, and then go to our steering servo. And then it reads the number again and then feeds it back into our PID control so that we'll have a closed loop system. And we have different KP, KI, KD values over here. These are the numbers that we actually tried, and this works perfectly. And we have another PID control, is the hazard PID. If we eventually had a hazard beacon over here, it will activate the hazard PID control, in which it will only read the right readings instead of the difference between the left and right. So if we only have a right reading, we also need a set point. The set point will be 80. In this case, that will be 80 centimeters from the right wall. So the same thing happens. So if there is any beacon signals, it has three different kinds. If we read a blue signals, and this signal is not within 12 seconds of the previous one, then it means that we're in the next turning point, and it will execute left turn. And if we read a red signal, then it'll stop. And if we read the hazard signal, and it will activate the PID hazard PID control, which I explained it earlier.
So this is what we're demoing. We're demoing the autonomous driving part, and this is how we make it start.
Oh yeah.
So the autonomous part will they will continuously reading the left and right LiDAR signals, and then they'll calculate to know their difference, and then the difference into the PID control to control the car to go straight and to go in the middle of the hallway. So it actually works pretty well.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
There's too crowded in this hallway, so we just skip it, and we'll continuously demo the autonomous driving part. No, the glass won't be a problem. It's actually making a left turn right here, and then we will go through the elevator shaft. That's it. That's the emergency stop. So we put a ultrasonic sensor at the front, so whenever the distance in the front was like smaller than 30 centimeters, then we'll just make a car full stop. This is our crawler in the manual mode.
Oh, okay, cool. So basically we have a streaming video camera over here, and that's mounted to the front of the car, and you can see somebody's walking down the hallway. So you do to engage menu modes, you hit this button which sends a post request to a Python web server running on the Pi, and the web server has a voltage pin that it is connected to the Arduino. And when manual mode is enabled, that voltage pin is high, and so in our loop we check to see if that pin is high, and then that's how we toggle between on manual and not. And then to send, to actually drive the car, the Raspberry Pi web server takes post requests for like forward, left, right, and back. And what those do is that temporarily writes one of the GPIO pins on the Raspberry Pi high for like approximately a second. And so I'm going to control the car with the arrow keys over here. So if I press the up arrow key, it'll go forward. You'll see a post request fired in my console, and then over on the Raspberry Pi, I'm just going to SSH into it so you can see the post request coming in there. And so we have corresponding requests for we can go left, and we can go right, and we can go backwards. And so you can control this car. We decided that it was the easiest way for us to do this was just to like have the user keep pressing the button after the car's moved for approximately a second. So that's how you drive the car. Just use the arrow keys and go forward, left, back, and right. There we go. That's a bit better. And so once you're tired of manual mode, we can actually hit this, and this will send another post request in disengage manual mode, and then it'll start to drive itself. And so Terry's gonna go reset the car to a place without glass windows. Cool. So we're in disengage manual mode, and it should just be able to figure it out on its own. Cool, so we wanted to talk a little bit more about the streaming video. We use this like awesome package for Raspberry Pi called Motion. That pretty much what that does is just it opens the webcam connection and streams the video back to us. So you can see here over at the end, Terry's waving. As you can see in the video, it's not great quality, but you can see it's active video. So I'm going to disengage mode, drive. This should drive straight, and you'll see Terry get closer. And so we got a bumpy but at least functional video for this entire system. As soon as it gets to Terry, stop. There we go. Perfect. And now we can see him. So streaming isn't on by default. It runs both while the car's in manual mode and when it's not.